Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I know I haven't been here in a super long time, but that's a story for another day. But in the meantime, I just wanted to jump on here and I wanted to make this video and I wanted to come back to this community and start talking about some things that we're all interested in. So if you've never been here before, my name is Ida. And I started this channel because I wanted to join some like minded individuals in really transforming ourselves for the better, right? So I know that for the past year or so, everybody's had their goals in mind, and everybody, we've been trying to pursue everything that we need to do, but every once in a while we get stuck. And I think that's where I am right now. So I really just wanted to come on here because I feel like there's no better way for your life to move forward than when you share it with other people. So here we go. So lately, I've been feeling a little stuck because within like the past month or so, my eldest son moved away. So even though I don't have a complete empty nest, it made me really start to rethink my own life, right? I wanted to know what it is that I really wanted. It's made me kind of think about the fact that I remember when I moved out of my house, how it took my parents by surprise. And even though I wasn't surprised that he was leaving because he did tell me ahead of time, still, on the day that he finally moved, I cried because I said, wow, it's almost like the end of an era and the beginning of another. And all of a sudden you come to that realization that, you're not mommy anymore. These are adults now, and they're going to live their own lives. And of course, like, you've been adulting all this time, but you've been a parent for so long that it's really hard to see yourself as an individual again, so I think that's gotten me a little bit to the point where I'm really not sure what I want to do one way or the other. But I know a lot of you are probably feeling the same way, and maybe not because you have empty nest. Maybe it's just because, you're at this job that you've been at and now you feel like it's time for me to move forward somehow. Or who knows? It could be there's a so many different reasons why you can feel stuck or off track, or you get to a certain age too. You're in your 50s or your 60s, and all of a sudden, things don't look the way that they used to look anymore. And especially, and I swear that I'm going to stop saying pandemic at some point, but truly, after that, like, nobody has been the same. So I think that I know that we've made a lot of progress on many fronts. But at the same time, there are some things that we just haven't been able to get over. And I think this is the time for us to like really push forward. So I've been thinking about a few things that I've been stuck on, and I came up with a list of 7 things that we could probably work on if you're interested in following. So, of course, if you're interested in following, subscribe. You can subscribe at any time. And I hope that I'm gonna be able to every week come back and try to like go over some things that we could do so we could feel unstuck. But these are some of the things that I've been thinking about that you could probably share or not. I'm gonna list them, so don't worry. I'm gonna put a list, and then I'm gonna put the description in the description. I'm gonna put the list anyway, so that if you're thinking about any of those things, then we could probably work on them together. Okay. So number one is I've been feeling a little bit stressed or anxious about my financial situation. So within the next 5 to 10 years, I'm going to be thinking about retiring, right? And the scary part about retirement is that, now you're making all this money, you've had your career for X amount of years, and once you retire, you're not going to make the same amount that you were making, right? I mean, unless you saved $1 million, which is what they say that you're supposed to be saving in order for you to like have a good life at retirement. But if, most of us do not have that kind of money. We don't have $1 million saved, especially if, for any number of reasons, you haven't been able to save up $1 million. I mean, even some people don't even make enough so that they could save $1 million. And so, what is it? How is it that we could maximize our retirement, right? If we don't have that kind of money. So that's something that I definitely have been thinking about, and it's made me a little anxious, not for nothing, right? The other thing that, also related to the financials, and I'm looking down because I'm reading this, right? Because I made a list for us. Um, the other thing is the carrying credit card debt, right? Credit cards, I know it's so easy to use them. I am definitely guilty of it. I love Amazon, right? I buy everything from Amazon, and it's so easy because you just put it on a credit card, and then when the bill comes, you just pay the minimum and you're good, right? But then there comes a time when you're just like, wait a second, why am I paying $200 here, $150 there, $50 for that, right? And then you start thinking about it like, wait a second, more money is going in credit cards than anything else. So that's something that we should probably talk about. And there are many ways to like pay down your credit card debts. I am not a financial counselor at all, advisor, nothing like that. But I mean, I'm just looking at it in terms of like what I would like to do to be able to eliminate some of that debt, right? The other thing on the physical front is feeling really, really tired, right? And run down all the time. I know if you're anything like me, you wake up really early in the morning and you go to work like a robot. You get in your car and you get in the train, you get to work, you do your X hours, right? And you leave, and by the time you get home, you're so wiped out, you can't work out. You can't. Everybody says, oh, you have to go to the gym or you have to take a walk or whatever the case may be. But sometimes it doesn't happen because you're just so wiped out mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? You're just sitting on a couch and you're just like doom scrolling, and then it's time for bed. Maybe you have dinner, maybe not. And usually, like, you're not eating that well and you're not sleeping that well either. And then, it's the next morning and it's time for bed again, right? So you're always feeling tired. So that's maybe a signal that you're feeling a little bit run down, right? That you're a little stuck. Right. Another one, and this is like credit card debt. There's a lot of shame and there's so much psychology behind all of this, is the gaining weight and having difficulty losing it. I, for one, I'm always saying that I'm gonna do X, and it's really hard. It's not as easy as some people make it seem. And now they're saying that even if you work out, you might not lose the weight, right? So, you're stuck between, a rock and a hard place. What do? You work out, you don't work out. Which way, is it the eating? Is it not the eating? And then also, now they have like all these little helpers that you can use. That you can use in order to make you lose the weight. So that may be something we can talk about in the future as well, right? All right. So that's in the physical front. Another sign that you may be off track is like experiencing burnout or stress at work. Mm. You know what? Sometimes you think that it's just because it's work and work is supposed to be stressful, but sometimes I think that you feel stuck, and then all of a sudden work gets more stressful, right? Because you're kind of adding whatever stress you're feeling about where you are in other areas, and you're bringing it to work and it's getting more stressful. That could be it. Or you could be feeling unfulfilled or feeling unhappy with your job. Maybe it's time for a change. Even if you're older, right? I think everybody experiences this, but even if you're older, I'm sorry, let me plug in before I conk out. Even if you're older, even if you're older, you should always be pursuing new experiences and new situations and new opportunities, right? It doesn't matter, you can still be pursuing other things that so that you can feel more fulfilled and more happy at your job. Or maybe you don't want to retire. Some people don't retire. That's okay. All right. Or, right, which is something that I definitely always think about, especially in my case, is your job has just run its course. Like maybe you needed it, when you were just like really scrambling to take care of your family, right? Taking care of your family and taking care of, yourself, and, providing, and, making sure food was on the table, and, everybody had an Xbox or whatever it is that you buy your kids, right? Or whatever it is that you spend your money on. And then all of a sudden, like you just get to the point where, you don't need anything else, but you're still working at this place that has probably provided up until that point, but now you don't need to be there anymore, right? Now it's time for you to transition to something different. Yes. So maybe that might be something that you could be pursuing. Anyway, um, those are some of the things I came up with that maybe we can start talking about. I think that it's always nice to have people to like share this with. There's no way to there's no other way to really move your life forward unless you're moving it forward in the company of other people, right? I believe that because it's really hard to do things on your own. And I think that was another reason why I decided to jump on and do a video, because I think if anything, I needed your expertise and your guidance in order to get what I needed to for myself, because you don't know everything. I definitely don't know everything, right? So I just want to come here and hopefully have a really good time with everybody. And maybe every week we could come up with like a different thing to talk about. Maybe books. I've been reading a few books, trying to get unstuck, how I can do it. But the best thing that we could do is really take action, right? But if we don't know what the right action is, I think that first we have to have an assessment of what it is. An assessment is such a teacher word, right? So first, I think that we should like assess where we are, right? So I think the next time that I pop on, I might put a form together and see where we are in these areas. So I think that, it's financial, physical, and professional, for the time being, right? I guess we could talk about other things later on. So listen, help me out, right? I want to be able to grow. I'm sure that you also want to be able to grow. And what's the best way to grow, right? And how fun is it to grow when you're growing with other people? I think that's the best thing, right? And when you're seeing other people grow, it encourages you. And it's always nice to be encouraged by others. So, right? So please, by all means, subscribe to my channel. And every week, we're going to try to do something a little different. Talk about maybe books or actions that we could take, or financial things, or retirement, or how to lose some weight, or how to change your job. Or even if we don't change our jobs, right? Maybe we could talk about it, right? About We could talk about how we're going to exercise. We could talk about a lot of things, actually, which is really our expertise, mine anyway, because I'm a teacher. I talk all day. So again, so these are just like a few things that I just want to talk about. Let me just go back on the list, right? So these are the things that we're going to talk about a little bit. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a career counselor. I'm just a member of the community of people who want to transform themselves and move forward together. That's about as much as, we all can do for each other. So these are the things that I would like to work on for the next year or so, or whenever, right? And one of them is carrying debt. The second one is feeling anxious about my financial situation, uh i.e. retiring. Three is feeling tired physically, gaining weight, definitely, um, feeling unfulfilled at work, experiencing burnout or a little bit of stress at work, or maybe it's just time for a change, right? So the next time that we get together, I'm going to see if we can start talking about what are the things that are stopping us from actually moving forward, or yeah, basically, because if you're feeling a little off track or a little bit stuck, what is stopping us from really moving forward? And then also, how we can help each other to kind of like get unstuck. Maybe we could give each other like a nice little push. Okay. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I am so excited to be back. Seriously excited. It's been a long time coming. I promise that I'm going to do like a little recap on everything that's been happening for the year and a half that I haven't been around. And I'm just really happy to see everyone right now. And I hope that we could like really build something and, really transform ourselves together. So I want to thank everyone for being here, and I'm really happy. And please subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. I think this is going to be a nice little something that we can do for each other and together. And I will see you next week. I'm going to do my best to be here next week. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.